Greetings and bienvenue, Midnight Crew. Thank you for returning to this broadcast, and welcome to new viewers joining us for the first time. If you like a video, then feel free to subscribe.
So what is the creepiest, unexplainable thing that ever happened to you? Not that creepy, but I'll start. Be me. Be 9 years old. Wake up around 2 a.m. Hear a TV from downstairs. Go downstairs. The parents are not there. All the lights are off. Only the TV is on with the snow screen. Turn it off. Go upstairs. I'm at the top of the stairs when the TV turns back on again. What? Go to bed. Wake up the next day not understanding why I didn't freak out.
This happened at 3:57 a.m. a few minutes ago. My door is open because the cat likes to walk in and out of my room. The windows are being put in my room and in the hallway for the past few days. I looked out my door and see a long, thin arm stretched out in the darkness. It startles me, so I immediately shut and lock my door. Turn the light on and plan to keep the light on until morning. My window has no curtains, and the landlord didn't turn on the alarm, although she always reassures me no one can break in. On the first night that the windows were installed, looking out the window in the hallway, see a bright red eye look inside. Then it quickly moves left and out of sight. I have a lot of fears. I am afraid I will see something outside my bedroom window, or someone will try to break in and steal our things. I have trouble sleeping at night, too much sleep paralysis. I hate reflective surfaces. My glasses reflect what I'm watching on my TV. My TV is reflective. My wardrobe has a mirror that I cover with a blanket. My anxiety is very high, and I am still trying to seek therapy to deal with this. I have a bat in my room just in case of a break-in before we had a security alarm put in.
B. Small Chidler, often home alone. Mom would make sure I was home after school and then leave me and my bro home while she went to work. We had literally 11 soccer balls, because my little bro loved soccer. He would always kick balls over the fence by accident into the neighbor's garden. When too many went over, he would ask me to just climb over and take them back real quick. One day we're home alone and I'm playing some Donkey Kong Country on my SNES when my bro says he wants me to go get some balls back. All right, I climb into my neighbor's garden and start tossing them back over, same as always. As I'm picking one up, I notice the neighbor is watching me from her window. Panic. I've never been caught before. Would she really mind? She must know what I'm doing. Would I really be in trouble? Decide to escape and hide in my house. I was just a kid and I was kind of scared. As I was climbing back over the fence, the neighbor came out into the garden. She was a red-haired lady with heavy eyeshadow. She was grinning, and I noticed this, but I didn't care. I didn't want to be caught and wanted to run. My little bro was excited by my commotion and followed me in. The neighbor lady didn't say anything, but was watching and grinning at me over the fence all the way as I ran. Forgot about this within minutes and played SNES again. About an hour later, night is starting to fall. My little bro says the neighbor lady wants to come in. What the hell? Am I really in trouble? I go to the front door and open up, but no one is there. No, my bro says. She's in the garden and she wants to come in. I turn around to view the back door and saw her ugly, grinning, shadowy-eyed face staring through the glass. Felt something was terribly wrong and got a big brother instinct. Wanted to tell her to go away, but was too afraid to move or really speak. A few minutes later, she moved out of sight. Too afraid to check if she's still in our garden. Mom literally just didn't believe us.
Here's mine. I've been a scout my whole life in a sort of Catholic, but super chill organization here in Italy. A couple years ago, I decided to become a scout chief myself. The other chiefs are all pretty great dudes and girls in their 20s and 30s, but there's also an old guy that is the founder of our group. His name is Bruno. He doesn't do the educational stuff anymore, but just likes to hang out with the new generations on our annual summer vacations. He has a shit ton of experience and is always useful, but he's also sort of an oddball. Very religious, claims he has a high perception, and is an endless supply of spooky religious stories, like feeling presences or being talked to when alone. This was 3 years ago. I was at my first year as a chief and got assigned to the Cubs, 8 to 10-year-old kids. We went to the beautiful Marathi Hills for our summer week camp. About 8 adults and 35 kids, really tiring but also having a great time. The kids are great, and so is the company of the other chiefs. Also living in nature is always wonderful. The house is inside a forest, so it's full of critters, and is also close to a farm with sheep, horses, and chickens. Every night after the kids go to bed, we adults round up outside the house to drink some wine or beer and talk about how the day went. Eventually, everyone goes to bed except for me and 2 others, just talking in the silence of a beautiful starry night. About 1 a.m., all of a sudden the whole forest of animals together with the farm animals goes batshit insane. I mean horses, sheep, and chickens shouting their lungs out. Even the insects start buzzing like crazy. The first thing we think is an earthquake is coming, and we're just about to take action and wake the kids to evacuate the old house, just for safety. As suddenly as it started, the animal shouting fades away. Maybe it wasn't an earthquake after all. We call it quits and go to bed. Me and the other 2 slept in the same room as Bruno, who, being about 70, went to bed much earlier than us. When we entered, we heard him talking in his sleep, muttering stuff like "go away" or "leave us alone." He seemed very agitated. He was moving quite vigorously, and his wooden bed was creaking all over. He never did this the other 3 or 4 nights we slept in the same room. Eventually, Bruno stopped and everyone went to bed. The next morning, we met at the house's kitchen for a cup of coffee before waking up the kids. Nicola, one of the 2 chiefs that were with me that night, jokingly asked Bruno, who was he so angry at that night, explaining that we heard him muttering. Bruno simply replied, "Oh, at the devil. My feels when fucking Satan tried to approach a house in the woods with 35 kids in it, scaring the whole forest with its mere presence, and was fended off by a sleeping man in his 70s. We asked more about it, searching for an explanation of what happened with the animals. Bruno didn't explain much, saying as he usually does that he just has a high perception for this kind of stuff. He spent the whole morning praying alone in the chapel inside the house. I still don't know if I'm a believer or not, but this kind of stuff sure is making me tend towards a certain side. I have to say that while it is really scary to know that evil forces do exist, it is also heartwarming to know that there also are benevolent entities, in this case whatever helped Bruno fend off the devil, that are always on the watch, protecting us.
Used to be scared of being alone. Moved out at 18 to go to college with my kitten. 4 months into the move, realize I haven't been scared once yet. Why was I scared at home when my family left me to go out for a night, but 4 months alone, and not one fear? Lol, I'm gonna see if I really don't get scared by looking up demon shit. Nightmares begin. Wake up at 4 a.m. with the sense of a demonic presence above me. Lol. Stop being paranoid. Start hearing shit. Tell the ghost to fuck off. Can't sleep anymore. Weeks of nightmares and strange vibes. The ghost spirit is basically my roommate now. My confidence level of it existing is like 40%. Except at night, I gave it a 2,000% chance of being real. Summer is coming. Mom is gonna pick me up from college. Lumphao. No room in the car for you, ghost. Bucko. Pack my bags. Wait on the couch for Mom to tell me how far away she is. I'll be there in 45 minutes, sweetheart. The ghost saw that text message. The hallway door slammed shut. By the way, I don't care if you believe me. I don't even believe me at this point. Open the door back up, because that's how I wanted it to be. My cat walks into the hallway. I hear hissing and banging. My cat is screaming. What the fuck? It's real to me now. Run into the hallway. My cat is wheezing. Hold my kitty close. Fur is flying everywhere. A pound of that shit is on my shirt now. Wait outside with my bags and cat. Wonder if it was really a ghost or a thought form manifested from my own paranoia. Either way, something happened.
Watching some ookum spookum ghost show about haunted places. Pretty lame most of the way through, but a segment on some shitty bar or something with disembodied demon eyes floating in the pisser kind of sticks with me. Laying in bed replaying the scene in my head, kind of spooked. Trying to keep my mind off it. School in the morning. Suddenly a thud against the wall. Bed is next to wall dividing my room from the hallway. Thud was against the wall opposite that, separating my room from outside. Whatever, probably the wind or something stupid. Not even spooked.jpg. A few minutes pass. Another thud against the wall. It's louder and sounds like someone open palm slapping the wall from inside my room. Okay, now I'm kind of spooked. Bam! This time much louder, like someone punched the wall. Heart starting to race like crazy. Bam! This time, it's against the wall my bed is next to, close to my feet. Cover my head with covers and cower like a baby. Suffocating from breathing so hard. Bam! It's even louder, and I can tell it's getting closer to my head. Bam! Right next to my head. Can literally feel the air being displaced, and the sound wave make contact with my eardrum, as if someone just smashed their fist into the wall as hard as they could. Nope. Sprint through the house at supersonic speed, flipping on every single light. Fumble down the stairs, nearly breaking my neck in the process. Stick my landing in the TV room at the end of the staircase. Being an idiot I don't manage to flip on the light to that room, but do manage to flip the light for the staircase off like a pro. Shaking in a cold sweat so hard I could give Michael J. Fox motion sickness. Call my friend who doesn't believe in ghosts and shit. Can barely get the words out. My teeth are chattering so much. Probably sounded like a shit Shaggy impression. Ghosts. He laughs at me and hangs up because it's like 2 a.m. on a school night. Sitting in this room in the dark, save for the light from the kitchen peering through at the top of the staircase. Complete silence, trying to rationalize what just happened. Suddenly bam from the top of the staircase. This shit is real. No way to rationalize myself out of this one. This shit is happening. Bam! It's making its way down the staircase, on the brink of tears. Bam! It's almost to the base of the staircase. Completely lose control of myself. Engage fight or flight mode. Chose flight. Run down the hallway at full Kenyan speed. Get to my dad's door and begin banging on it as hard as I can and yelling as loud as I can to open up. He opens the door and is understandably livid. Oh my God. There is this banging noise and shit. Oh my God. He takes me through the house, turning on every light and opening every door. I am hiding behind him like a toddler at his first day of daycare. I was 16 at the time this happened, by the way. Yeah, old enough to drive a car. And nothing like that ever happened again. Can honestly say I've never been more scared in my life. I have some more stories from when I lived with my parents, but they're not as neat.
Work at a grocery store that has spooky shit happen at night or when it's slow. Nothing really too special. Lights turning off and on, stuff moving. Never experience anything too spooky. Until one night in May. It was a late night and I was on a slow register. I hadn't had a customer in almost an hour when a man walked up to me. Bald man, glasses, very feminine voice. Hands me his cash and says, "The way I handed you that money is so that it will always come back to me." Interested and bored, so I talk with him for a bit. Claims to be a witch from down south. Neat. Goes on to tell me he can tell me all about who I was, and who I will be. Guesses a bunch of stuff about who I am that he should not have been able to know, like that my mother is an author and that I have 4 brothers. Guesses the town I was born in, which isn't even close to where I am now, and the month I was born. Makes vague general predictions for my future which seem very metaphorical. At the end of it, he leaves, and as I say it was nice talking to him, he says, "Well, don't worry, he'll be seeing you again. Mr. Insert last name here." Realize later. I never told him my last name. Get in the car, and Magic Man is playing over the radio. Still not sure if he's just a really dedicated stalker, or I met a wizard, never seen him since then, and that was like a year ago.
B14. Be downtown with 5 friends in a candy store. Creepy-looking man outside keeps looking at me and pacing back and forth. Make eye contact numerous times. Finally, man comes in and asks me to come outside. Obviously say no, but the man continues to ask and grab arm. Candy store employee calls the police. Man tries to pull me outside, continues to keep harassing and come outside. Another man comes up and pushes him off me. Creepy man says he knows where I live and which room I sleep in. Also claims he watches me sleep. Creepy man leaves and continues to watch from outside. Somehow he left right before the police showed up. Report to the police and never see the man again. Fast forward 2 years. B16. Live in a commercial building as a house. Wake up and the bike is stolen. Buy a new bike gets stolen. Months later, walking in an area 3 miles from downtown. See bike leaned against pole. Grab the bike as the man comes out of the bathroom. Man recognizes me and claims he borrowed it, 'cause he knew I needed it to be fixed. Same creepy man as before claiming it's his bike. Show him a sticker that proves it's mine. Man argues and claims he borrowed it. Security patrol comes over and the man runs away. Looks back as running and gives a death stare.
14 years old, out at summer camp. Parents bought me a huge set of powerful binoculars. We go to Sequoia National Park in California. Pretty fun. At one campsite by a lake. See some guy on other side of the lake, maybe half a mile away by a boat on the shore. Peer at him with binoculars. He's kneeling into the water, washing his hands, and something shiny, which I make out as a knife. Look at the water by where he's kneeling and it's turning red. Observe for another 30 seconds. He jumps up and looks around. Then he looks at me. Wanted to run off but didn't. He grabs something in the boat. It's binoculars, and he raises them up and looks at me, points at me, and then makes a throat-slashing sign with his knife. I freak out and run off. Decide to keep it to myself and go back and talk to friends. They're in the showers. Few minutes later, I'm bored and I muster the courage to look back at the lake. The guy is heading right towards us on his boat. Panic and run to the counselors. Tell them what happened. They tell me to chill and grab something to eat. The guy pulls up to the dock near our part of the lake. Several male counselors walk over to intercept the guy. Don't know what they said, but the guy goes back to his boat and the counselors immediately contact the park rangers. First ranger arrives and starts talking to the male counselors and then to me. Tell them what I saw. 2 other rangers show up. It's getting dark at this point. They tell everyone to move their tents closer to the fire pit and bench area so everyone is in a tight circle. 2 rangers set their trucks up between the tree line and the tents. The other truck set between the lake and the tents. All rangers are slinging their long guns over their shoulder. 1 patrols by the tree line, 1 by the lake, and 1 circles around the tents. The counselors sleep in shifts with half staying up until 1 a.m. or so, then the other half taking watch. Everyone is freaking out at this time because they don't know what happened, and I haven't told anyone other than the counselors and rangers. Rangers have us all huddle up, tells us everything will be okay, and while staring at me, says they had reports of bears in the area, so they're staying with us to keep us safe. Most of the other kids laugh with the tough guy of the group saying he ain't scared of bears. I keep my mouth shut about the situation. Rangers tell us we're all to make sure our gear is in the back of our tent like a wall, and to sleep with the tent doors fully unzipped and our heads pointed towards the fire. They tell us not to worry, that they and the counselors will regularly be patrolling until we pack up and leave the next day. Everyone goes to sleep. Try to talk to my buddy and tent mate to keep him awake. He isn't even bothered by the situation and dozes off. I'm too scared to sleep. Throughout the night, I see the rangers or counselors turn on their flashlights scanning the tree line. One time, I hear several of them rush to the 2 trucks by the tree line and turn the truck lights on, illuminating and scanning the tree line for a good 5 to 10 minutes. Lay there terrified that my tent will be dragged away by that guy, or that the last thing I see will be a knife cutting through the tent wall into my face. Sun comes up. Everything is okay. We all pack up. As we're about to leave, another 2 ranger trucks arrive, one with a boat in tow, and it heads up to the lake to place it in. We leave. Never found out what happened with the guy, and the counselors refused to tell me what he said to them. I'm just glad I decided to tell the counselors. I was considering just shutting up. I think if I did, the guy would have come back for me.
Summer. Me and my sister are home alone and bored because the parents are out. Hey, let's go to the park and watch the sunset. Oh, okay, why not? The park is a little down the street. Not exactly an average park. It's got a playground and then a large field, about the length of 6 houses. Fenced all around, with only 2 entrances and exits. Play Daniel Johnston songs and look at the moon because I'm a cringy teenager. Wait a second. Call for my sister. She was out playing in the field. Dark. So I call her name. No response. Panicking slightly at this point. Try going to one of the exits of the park. It's by an orange streetlight, slightly illuminating the darkness. I see a figure coming close towards me. A man in a suit and a fedora. Actual fedora. Style hat, it looks like. Call hello? To him. No response. He steps into the streetlight. Still can't see his face. Looks like he's still in the shadows. Nope, out of there and leave with my guitar. My sister was in bed. She was bored and went back home without telling me. Not too exciting, but it's one of the only paranormal-esque experiences I've had.
This actually scared me for some time, hence the reason why I forgot it so quickly. B10. Parents are again at the theater. It's fall. It goes dark at 4 o'clock. Watch a random television channel. It's 6 o'clock. Parents will be back at 10 or 12. Enjoy my free time. At around 6:30 p.m., hear someone knock at the door. Be polite and open it. Abso-fucking-lutely no one. 10 minutes pass. Still enjoying my free time. Hear someone knock again, get slightly angry, open the door jerkily ready to yell someone's head off. Still no one, now slightly spooked. Now the time in between the knocks is smaller, around a minute. During the time where it's just a minute, I open the door each time slightly spooked. My dog is agitated, barking loudly, further agitates me. Yell at the dog to shut up. Around 7:20 p.m. the knocks have no time in between them. Really violent pounding. I'm literally pressing myself against the wall next to the door, willing the pounding to stop. The dog still barks. I yell at the door, crying. It doesn't stop. I go upstairs to the computer room, lock myself in, play some random 2010 hit song at full volume and game the next 5 to 6 hours away. It's around 11:10 p.m. Don't hear the knocking anymore. Not going downstairs. I'll die of hunger in that safe room if I have to. Parents come home, see me locked in the room. They ask what's wrong. I tell them. Fuckers don't believe me, even though my doe-eyed 10-year-old self is traumatized. They suggest it was a neighbor. Next day, ask my best friend at the time if he pranked me. He said no. I have my doubts. He's the kind of cringe that plays around with voodoo and curses. Quite sketchy. Threatened him. Then I believed that he spoke the truth. To this day, I have no explanation. It happened only once, but that was the loudest and most violent, unexplainable thing in my life.
B12 at comic book store in town playing Magic the Gathering. Usually a pretty regular core crowd. One of the guys that has only been showing up for probably less than a month has these weird scars on the corners of his jawline. Partially covered up by a scruffy beard, can still see them though. Between rounds, friends and I are comparing new cards and trading. We're stupid 12-year-olds, so none of the cards were probably even good. The guy with the scars could beat the best guy in the core group pretty handily. But he always lost to the younger kids. One night, new guy shows up, not unusual. They either leave after a week or two or become part of the core group that are regulars there. Guy seems a bit old to be there, like late 30, he's mid-40 ES. Keeps butting in on conversations my friends and I are having. Be polite and talk to him. After games are done and we're waiting for my friend's mom to come get us, he asks if we need a ride home. Politely decline and tell him we have a ride, kinda weirded out. The store owner and Scars guy are chatting at the front desk. Guy eventually starts trying to herd us out the door by spreading his hands and pushing us in a group. Now somewhat loudly protesting, realizing what's probably happening. Scars guy's head whips around and he strides over. Face is all red and his jaw is clenched, making the scars pop out. Looks like a fucking murderer. Guy starts to stop hurting us when he sees Scars coming over. Do you kids know this guy? No, he asked if we needed a ride. Scars looks at him. Creepy guy goes for his pocket. Scars are immediately on him, holding his wrist with one hand, grabbing his shoulder with the other. They're staring at each other really intently, not arguing or anything, but just breathing really hard. Have no idea what is happening. Friends and I watching silently. Store clerk is on the phone. Creepy guy grabs Scars' neck. Scars does the same to creepy guy. Continue straining. Faces growing bright red, then deep purple. Scars starts letting out a weird groaning noise. Creepy guy collapses. Scars takes a huge breath and half falls and half kneels on creepy guy's chest. Pulls the revolver out of creepy guy's pocket and kicks it across the floor. tells us to go behind the counter with the clerk. Clerk had called the cops. A couple times hear creepy guy come to. Then hear what I now realize was probably scars hitting him until he passed out again. Sound of fist hitting face, then head hitting floor. 2-part rhythm like Be Dumb, Be Dumb. Cops show up and arrest the guy. All of our moms show up in hysterics. Be 21 now. Teenage years haven't been kind. Had really bad acne around 15 and 16. I'm pretty good at Magic the Gathering, at risk of tooting my own horn. Acne left my jaw scarred, bad enough that the laser treatment I've spent almost $2,000 on now probably won't completely get rid of them. I look a fuck of a lot like I remember scars looking. Could definitely be a coincidence. It's not unheard of for people to have bad acne scarring. That hasn't stopped me from seriously considering going to that comic book store once I start to grow a beard, though, to potentially stop a future me and friends from getting abducted by some old fuck. That, or it's some weird ass pass on the good deed shit, and I finally get rid of these awful scars by letting some random kids beat me at Magic in exchange for keeping them from getting Chris-channed.
I hope that you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. If you enjoyed tonight's story, then please subscribe to the channel, as more Greentext will appear daily. A new broadcast will appear when the clock strikes midnight Central Time.